They saw some dead stranglers along the way. That saw it.
Stragglers.
Stragglers, sorry.
You said
What?
stranglers.
Stranglers.
Please
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, I
The
figured he
moment
was
that he started
infected.
talking, like he's saying, "I'm Paul."
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Jay,
What?
these people don't exist. They're not real.
Says who?
Don't tell me that.
Don't say that to Ace.
It kind of
My
just
livelihood.
All right, well, welcome to the most virtuoso podcast
What?
in the world.
Whoa.
This is
Never heard of this word.
definitely. I had to
Is it
Google this
Latin?
to properly pronounce it. Virtuoso podcast in the world.
What?
And we are that. If you want to know what that means, Google it. You should know by now.
Google.
If you don't know what it means, you probably should Google it.
I request the origin of the word.
This podcast is a podcast of We're Alive Descendants. And if you haven't listened to the current podcast, the current episode, please listen to that, because this episode is full of spoilers. You don't want that. You're not going to understand anything. You're not going to enjoy this. Maybe half the time, because you will laugh at my jokes. But other than that, you're not going to understand anything about the We're Alive Descendants.
You won't.
So please go listen to that. Come back here. We're still going to be here. You're going to have more fun knowing what the context and what's going on in We're Alive Descendants. Anyway, this episode is sponsored by, we don't have a sponsorship yet.
We're prepping. We're just prepping for when that happens.
We're prepping.
Sponsored by my big left coat.
Yeah, exactly. This episode, season 1, chapter 15, or episode 15, Valley of the Shadow of Death. When you heard that title, who else thought of Psalms 23?
Absolutely.
Psalm 20.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil unless they're infected. Yeah, exactly. All right, so what do we think about this episode, guys?
What?
Yeah, he totally skipped the part. Unless he said
Nobody knows who
I'm
we
just
are.
kidding. My name is AJ.
Wakka.
Jay.
Ace.
Welcome.
We were way off on that one.
Yeah, well, terribly off. All right. Okay, so what do we think? What do we think about this episode? This is one of 3, by the way. This
Yes,
is
one of three.
Okay.
1 of 3.
Yeah. So,
Kind of told immediately that it was going to be a building episode,
yeah.
Yeah.
and it was.
So it is, and then it kind of paid off a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. It kind of paid off a little bit. With both group, with Will and Nick's group, and also with Alex and Dot. So he kind of
Yeah.
like
Right.
a little bit, not a lot, but he gave you, it didn't leave you hanging that much. You know what I mean?
Well, until the very
It
end.
showed you
Yeah.
the direction. Yeah, it showed you the direction it's going though. Like,
Right.
Exactly.
It answered the couple questions we had from the last one, and now it's starting to really build that momentum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
we
I
got
gotta
introduced to something new.
Yeah.
So that
Which
was
is
cool.
my new favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I gotta say,
My
I'm
new
actually
favorite.
really loving the dynamic between Nick and Will right now.
Yep. I agree.
With Will kind of being like the lost kid, it almost gives reason for Nick to have character development finally.
Yeah.
And so we're getting some of his backstory and some of what he's been like his life now. And so
Wait, are
that's
you
been
talking
really
about?
cool to see.
Are you talking about Will?
Will and Nick.
Nick and Will.
Yeah.
Both of them.
No, because I thought you said Will being a lost kid, and then I was like, well, metaphorically.
It gave Nick
Nick.
an opportunity to have character development.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Nick being a lost kid is metaphorically he's lost, even though he's there. Will's definitely like lost, like he's, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
knowing his
Everything
life.
is so much further beyond the scope of what he could have ever.
Yeah. I mean, he was 10. That's crazy.
That's insane.
It's
yeah.
insane. Since he was 10, he was living that life since he was 10.
Yeah.
So
So he literally just
Yeah.
knew that whole life there.
Right.
That's true what he said.
yeah. All right. Okay. So, Valley of the Shadow of Death. We continue the episode with Gloria, Grant, and slaves from Prim.
I can't do it anymore. This is too far.
You just have to keep going. Don't give up.
Thanks.
Gloria. Gloria. We have to slow down. People are starting to fall behind.
Slow down anymore and we're never gonna make it. These people realize that, don't they?
They're doing the best they can.
Yeah? Tell it to the people hunting us down.
Well, fortunately, I still don't see them. Walking through the hills must have worked. Their vehicles couldn't keep up.
For only so long. You haven't heard any explosions, have you, Grant?
Nothing.
They should have blown the pass by now. If Alex and Dot screw that up, none of this is gonna matter.
Yeah.
A lady was giving up walking. We don't know who this lady is. She was just walking, and she's like, I can't do this anymore. We've been walking. I want to give up.
I wonder if it's that same lady from the last episode that Grant had to help to put in the car, in the truck.
No, because the car and truck
no.
are gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
They went ahead first.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And then Grant was telling Gloria that they needed to slow down. Gloria was worried that Alex and Dot might have failed their mission.
Does he know yet about Lisa?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, not at all. So this episode, and I know for sure, we're gonna. By the way, we're gonna read Casey's comments on the previous episodes because he gave us a ton of information. Like he was active in our episodes, right? He was active in our previous episodes, but he was way more active in this last episodes. I feel like it's like you guys are dumb. He's like, you guys are dumb, and you guys not understanding what's going on. So here you go. I'm gonna give it to you in a silver platter.
He's like, you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you why.
yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot of comments and replies. So
there were.
Yeah, it's a lot. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna read it. But the reason why I mentioned that is if you, I guess I can honestly say I'm confused about the timeline and how the time works between the two. So we know that we are kind of like in the past because the explosion happened in the previous episode, and the explosion here is the setting here is before the explosion, right?
Yes.
Well,
the very beginning of it, yeah.
The very beginning.
Like the minutes leading into the end of the last episode.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like the lockdown to We're Alive. Story of survival. You know what I mean? You kind of have in the background a little bit, and then you get into it. You get in the right timeline. So they got... Okay, help me understand this. Did they go in the same path that Dot and Alex did?
Say that again.
So were they in the same path? So let's say Alex and Dot is setting up the bombs right here.
Right. Okay.
Did they pass them while they're setting up the bombs, or did
No,
they go in a
Alex
different
and
route?
Dot went backwards.
Oh,
to set up the bombs.
backwards. Okay, that makes sense.
They went back towards the attackers.
Yeah.
And so they were all quite a bit ahead of them. And
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. So the attackers are on the other side.
They're behind them. Yeah. They're on the other side of that valley. They already went through the valley.
Oh, the people already went through the valley. Gotcha. Okay. No, because I was confused. Like, man, they got really far.
Well,
I thought they went ahead of them.
And that's... We don't know if they went through the valley, but the valley is the only way that the tanks and stuff like that can come through.
Oh.
And so they know that they were going there. So they could have gone a different way around that by foot. But yeah, either way, they're the Atlas is in front of them. And the tanks and all them are behind them. So Alex and Dot had to go backwards kind of to do that. And that's why when they were catching up to them, they potentially were they were following their tracks, so they were behind them, and that's why they thought that they were seeing. Yeah,
I was just a little confused because I thought they went ahead of them to set those up, and then they passed Alex and Dot while they're setting it up, and then that's how I pictured in my head. So that makes more sense. So they went backwards. Okay, yep. All right. So while they were walking, a kid named Gus.
I'm not a fan of the name.
A kid named Gus. I know I am not too. A kid named Gus approached Gloria, complained that it was too hot, and asked Gloria for her water. He asked Gloria if she could carry him, and we found out that the kid didn't have any parents. They left to work at camp a long time ago, and they are dead. I assume they're dead.
Well, yeah, he said that they died in the arena.
Right.
No, I thought that
no, that was Will. That was Will who said
this
that.
This kid said they were gone. They left.
Yeah, they left for work at the camp.
Oh, well,
That's
yeah,
all he
okay,
said.
yeah.
That's what he said. That's all he said.
And never came back.
Yeah, and then Gloria doesn't want to carry him, so she offers him her water.
They went to go get milk.
All right, both of them. So Gloria doesn't want to carry him, so she offers him her water. The kid's voice after he tricks Gloria. This is like a definitely. He played Gloria.
I want to box this kid.
Yeah. He definitely played Gloria. Because look, the coughing, you can tell, like, yo, you're faking this whole coughing thing.
Well, you didn't know that until until she offers him some water. He's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah,
and
I
he's
heard that.
completely normal.
Like,
Yeah, I was like,
I'm sick. I'm dying.
Right. He said,
okay, here's some water. Thanks, man. That was great.
Then he drinks it all.
He said, I feel better now. It's like, well, that makes one of us.
Right.
He definitely played Gloria.
Freaking wild, man.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Ace's voice is like, you know, when he's talking, he's quiet, and then when he gets excited, he's like peaks. Like you have no in between.
Yeah, he doesn't have any compression.
You don't have in between.
I know. I need to get like an external compression for this.
Yeah. But we want both. We want you talking, but we also want you to get excited. You know what I mean? Like that's for all of us. Exactly.
One thing I'll say is it was good to hear his voice again. Augie's voice. Back from Scout's Honor. So he did a good job again.
You were saying this earlier about in the after credits. And I didn't want to say because I want to say it in the podcast. Well, his name is actually mentioned twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did him, and then it says additional voices by him also.
Which the infected was
kid.
Augie too.
Yeah.
But
that sounds funny.
Different kid.
Yes,
different kid.
Yeah,
different
not
kid,
Gus.
same voice.
So, the same character.
Same voice actor.
Different character. Yeah, I know. Which I hope it is, because it's one of those moments where Casey's like,
oh my gosh,
it's one of those moments where Casey's like, I'm gonna tease you guys with this, and I'll have you think about it if it's the same kid or not.
That would be hilarious. That would be funny.
I thought that first.
I never thought for a second it was the same kid.
Until
like literally right now, where I'm like, oh, but what if?
That's crazy though.
Because if you listen to the after credits, it was mentioned twice.
Are you saying same kid as in Gus, or same kid as in?
That was Gus.
Hang on, or same kid as in the infected was actually Gus. Zach.
Oh no! You talking not Zach?
Because
I thought it was Zach. It was what the heck is his name?
Who did he voice act?
Yeah, in Scout's Honor, the anime kid.
The one with the lisp.
Yeah,
I thought
that was him.
I thought the one that was the
a
lisp.
year ago or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't Zach, because Zach is one of the main characters. Now that I think about it.
Oh, no, it was the guy on the bus that was agreeing with the bully. It's like nice one.
Oh yeah, but it wouldn't be because he would be too old.
Unless he became infected and then he stayed infected. You don't.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but they're dead.
So,
but this one didn't mutate because they were like regular. They were like the original infected.
Oh, they were OG. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. From what we've seen, pretty much all Gen 1s are dead.
Yeah, and also they died in the island. Remember in the cactus thing, the poison. Yeah, they did. But either way, when I listened to this,
I mean, even if you're gonna try making the argument that somehow he lived through that, though.
Yeah.
Like
that
all
mutated
Gen,
over
I don't
time?
think we've seen evidence of like Gen 1s really being alive at all. I think the closest thing to a Gen 1 we've seen is Fredo.
Yeah.
But he's an altered Gen 1.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
And that's like the argument of why he's alive. Like they very well could be. It's just we haven't seen that evidence of them yet.
He was also kept in there. You know what I mean? Like I'm assuming they grab him from the jail and then straight to Prim. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when I listened to it, I listened to this 3 times. Because the first time I listened to it, I was completely distracted. I finished the whole episode without even knowing what's happening. So
that checks out. That checks out.
I know. So I listened to it again, and then the third time, that's when I took my notes. But this Gus is adorable. I'm pretty sure it's one of those moments where Casey's like, okay, I'm going to introduce you to this kid. You get attached to this kid a little bit, and then I'm going to show you an infected that's a kid, that's similar voice.
That's wild.
And assume that it's the same kid.
Yeah, I never put it down as the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm kind of glad we're all in agreement. This is like one of the few times we've actually been.
Because
we're all in agreement, we're all going to be wrong.
Well, here it comes. Because Grant came back and talked to Gloria. While he was speaking, we hear 2 explosions. Grant suggested going to a town a little south of them because, you know, they're exhausted and things like that. Gloria refuses because she knows. This girl, I've been around. She's like, I've been around and I know what's happening. That's not a good idea. We gotta go.
Yeah.
And she knows what's in those settlements.
About that, a few people have fallen way behind. They aren't able to keep up. Maybe we should divert. Looks like there's a town just a little south of us. If we just keep...
No. We stay on the path. Don't go anywhere near settlements. This is the only way. Trust me.
If you say so. But we're losing people.
And we're going to lose more. You have to accept that, Grant. This is a race now, where the losers don't survive.
I know. You're right. It's just hard. I mean, some of these people I've gotten to know. And some are just too old for this. Some too young.
There's only so much we can do. Don't forget, you need to make it there too.
Focusing on the others helps distract from my own pains.
Well, not me.
Gloria tells Grant that he needs to survive too, focusing on others. Grant said focusing on others helps me distract on my things. And that reminds us of Lisa.
I love that line, actually.
Yeah.
I love that because that was one of the most like real and human things we've experienced in a while. Because it's been 2 extremes. It's been I'm a bad A or I'm terrified.
Right.
Which, don't get me wrong, the terrified is a far more human reaction than the bad A side, but we haven't been seeing that in a while because we've been dealing pretty much solely with the main characters. And all of them, for the most part, have like the I'm a G mentality.
Yeah.
And so they haven't been showing like the super weak human side. So hearing somebody say something so like raw and broken was really cool.
Right. And we
that
see
was
that
one of my favorite moments of the entire episode, honestly.
Yeah, and we actually see that a lot in the vulnerability in this throughout episodes. We hear that later on again. But you're right. It's and don't we like do that as a human being? You know what I mean? We just ignore. We like forcefully ignore our issue and help other people thinking that it's helping us, but it's not really. You know what I mean? Making us feel better. It's
distracting.
Yeah.
If I don't know that I'm suffering, I'm not suffering.
Right. If I'm helping other people, I might be helping myself. You know. Now, out of nowhere, we hear after those 2 explosions. Out of nowhere, we hear more explosions and gunshots. Gloria used her scope and said it was something else. How
do you know she used her scope?
You can hear loud.
The click.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. You can hear it.
I was working.
It's she actually used it twice because the first one is to look at the 2 explosions, and then she used it again. It's the soldiers. So it's the soldiers from Prim. We can hear them shooting and firing the tank. I assume that's what they're hearing.
Yeah, which is interesting because it took a minute. Like in this episode, it took a minute from the time that it was the explosion to the time that it was the tank being shot. But if I remember correctly, in the previous episode, it was like one right after the other. There wasn't really much time between the explosion and the time that they shot the tank.
Well, see, and now this is my thought. I think that second explosion was just a second explosion. It was something separate from what we heard at the end of the last one. So it's almost like the first one you hear is the end of the last episode, and then the continuation is what you hear after.
So another tank shot?
Yeah.
Or it could have been that the first one was never a tank shot, but the second one was a tank shot.
Yeah. It's a culmination of.
So the first one could have been the explosion from the traps that they set and then the second one could have been.
Yeah, that's
Hank.
what Alex said in the transition of the scene where he wakes up and kind of recaps of what happened. He says when the bombs went off and then the tank shot near where he was, and everything went
blank.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that whole other additional what you said, the shooting, bombing, explosions, where Prim trying to break through the rubble, or the debris to get through.
So this definitely confirms that they weren't attacked by the infected in the settlement, right? They weren't attacked.
No,
so the chaos that's happening, it wasn't from the infected in the settlements or in the town. The explosion that's happening is from the Prim people.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it was never mentioned or confirmed that they were attacked at all. Now they're getting followed.
Yes.
Their scent is getting followed, but there's no attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Which gives us to conclusion that kid wasn't Gus, or was it a kid? That's
Gus.
the thing, though.
Well, that's what.
Don't know if it's a kid. Yeah, I know.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I know.
Are you saying that it could be one of them small people?
Hold on. Now we then transition to Alex, Dot, and Demon. We found out that they survived the explosion, and the explosion worked out. Alex just woke up with a humongous headache and bleeding.
Yep.
They stopped, and Dot helped him. They decided that Dot rides, and Alex is tied to Dot. Bro, her language is expanding.
It is. And this one, she jumped
rapidly.
a lot in this one.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
In expansion here, when she realized that Alex is waking up, I like how she tells the horse to stop by saying, "Off."
Yeah. So because of her language barrier, punctuations is definitely missing in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the intonation of voice, like you don't know if that's the stop was the sentence or if that's a continuation of the sentence.
Yeah.
They stop and Dot help him. They decided that Dot rides and Alex is tied to Dot. You can hear Alex say, "I'm just gonna close my eyes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dot." And then while Dot is screaming at Alex, you can hear this. It says, "Alex, don't sleep. Alex, don't sleep."
And it's fading away.
It's fading away. Alex, don't sleep. While
That's like actually so scary to hear too.
yeah.
Wait, they actually said that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like, so I listened to it in my headphones, so you can hear like almost everything.
Huh.
Yeah.
I listened to it through my AirPods, so maybe that's why I was missing some of that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you hear Alex passing out slowly, and then you hear Dot and says what he said,
Alex,
and
don't
it's just
sleep.
fading away as he's passing out.
Right.
I don't remember that. All right. Maybe I'm gonna have to change how I start listening to the episodes.
You
Because
should.
there are some things I am missing.
So now, did you listen to the
That's
new
pull
one or
out
the
the
old
I listened to
studio
both of them.
headphones.
Yeah, I know. I did.
Man. Have I been out long?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Still haven't caught up to Gloria and the others.
Nuh-uh.
At least that means they're getting ahead. It's good. We sure they went this way? Oh, you're following their tracks.
Look.
Oh no. No, is that one of our people? Just laying there? You think they're
Dot.
dead? Man, I knew people would fall behind, but I didn't think it'd be this bad.
Stay?
No. Keep going. The man was old. It still sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Is that another one? it. Nothing we can do. We just need to focus on those we did get out.
Dad.
Now, while Demon is walking, Alex wakes up. He realized they hadn't caught up to the rest of the people. They saw some dead stranglers along the way. That saw
stragglers.
Stragglers, sorry.
You said stranglers.
Stranglers. Stragglers. Yeah, stragglers. They saw some dead stragglers along the way. That saw a town. Potentially the same town that Grant was talking about.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, potentially. Not confirmed, but potentially. Because the way I connected it is the location and the path is diverted, and that's what Grant is. Gloria was saying we're gonna get diverted, so we're not gonna do that. Oh
man, now that you say potentially, do you think the tracks that they're following? Because I'm assuming it's getting dark. It's not getting dark, is it?
No, it's like morning. That's why it's way too hot.
Yeah.
When Alex wakes up.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it hasn't been that long,
right?
I don't think. By that time it may have been like 5. I would think like even 5 minutes,
right?
And they was like kind of trying to starting to bob after getting pulled up onto Demon. They could have been riding only for a couple minutes. We don't know yet.
Oh, I see.
And they were also riding a horse.
Yeah. So that
the distance is
I'm probably changing the subject now. So that means he used the word. So the refugees and Gloria are further out because she said that they were hours away from Atlas. So I assume by the time with the horse running as fast as they did, they would have caught up already. But they're already just now passing the town.
It depends how far back they went and how long they waited after people left.
They also might not be full sprint on the horse.
Just trottling?
Yeah.
I would expect them to be going probably pretty fast with them trying to get away from the situation.
That's what I assume too.
Yeah. Well, so and then that's why I mentioned it here. When Alex woke up, Demon was walking.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, that's right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not point, at that point. So you never know when Demon started walking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When he passed out, he was running, and then when he woke up, he was walking.
That's right.
Yeah. And then, but Alex saw the path that the rest of the people followed. While Alex was talking about his chipped tooth he got from the explosion, Dot saw a little image. According to Alex, it's a kid. Okay. So they stopped and tried to help the kid. Alex is so willing to help the kid, but you can hear Dot protesting. The kid. She's saying the kid.
Yeah.
Dot.
Yeah.
Dot.
Yeah.
You can tell in her voice that she's saying, I don't trust that.
Right. And then
she's also a lot more coherent than he is.
Yeah. Right. And then the assuming kid said, what did he say? He said, help. Yeah, he said, help first. Help.
Bro.
And then, please.
I was getting flashbacks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ink, right?
I had zero doubt in my mind that this kid was not infected. I had zero doubt.
I agree with the way how he said, please help.
Yeah, the moment that he started talking, like Ink saying, I'm Paul.
Yeah. Right.
Oh. Damn, that was crazy.
Also, okay, so here's my thing, right? Casey intentionally used Augie twice. It's probably cheaper, but
it's a free voice actor. I mean,
no, but what I'm saying is he could have used other kid to separate the two.
It'll be good on his resume.
Exactly.
He's IMDb.
We build portfolios out.
Right. So looking at your IMDb, you play a lot of Infected in here, huh? The kid said, help and please. While Alex was on his way to help the kid tried to bite Alex.
We got you. Don't worry. We'll fix you up. We gotta ride back to the group and... Holy shit!
Infected!
I can see that now! Get the fuck off of me!
Shoot?
Yes, shoot it! Help me! Do something!
I can't!
God damn it! Stop trying to fight me!
More!
There's more of them!
Push! Now!
Holy shit! You broke its neck!
No. Blood.
Smart!
Come!
How many more are there? They must be from the town! They look like goddamn kids. The fucking thing actually dressed itself to resemble us.
Up!
Go! Nice, demon. Now get us out of here.
And then this is what he said: there were more kids coming.
Yes.
So, and we find out later on when Will was reading the journal, they were not kids.
They were just infected.
They were
small infected.
They were just small infected, dressed like their kids.
At first, I thought they were the skinwalkers.
Yeah.
But no, Tanya had a whole different name for them.
Absolutely.
Well, she didn't give them a name though. Oh yeah, she did.
The mimics.
Mimics.
And I said, "This is my new thing."
Yeah.
That was really clever.
Little did we know, Casey's playing Phasmophobia. The mimics and all that. Yeah, Alex said that they look like kids and dress like one of them. So while we're doing that, while he was struggling, the bad A Dot, which by the way,
Bro.
Alex explained this. He said that you pulled me out of there, put me on the horse,
Like for real.
and he said, "Strong."
Dude, that was
She's got some muscle.
like her
Really
voice
is showing her being like that survivor.
Yeah,
she's
Like
very
we're
dependent.
we're finally getting like fully into the survivor aspect of her. and I love it.
It making more sense
Freaking
now.
love it.
You know what I mean? Like, how did this girl survive by herself in the town in her city where she's she's alone, right there? You know what I mean?
Ah, yes, she's a G. That
Yeah,
would be a good.
exactly.
That'd be a good reason.
And then-
flight kicked in.
So it's I wrote right here. Dot told Alex to push. That's what she said. Push. So I can imagine Alex pushing the kid, and then snap. You can hear like sound,
Bro, I wouldn't have heard that.
and Dot broke the kid's neck.
Yeah.
And then she said, so I was a little confused on how this wording, because like I said, Dot, struggling with punctuations. So when snapped the neck, and then Alex said, "Oh crap."
No blood.
No, she said no blood. So I thought, because he said you snap its neck, so I thought she's responding to the snapping neck to saying no blood. But it was a response to like, yeah, I snapped the neck.
Yeah.
Because there's no blood.
So that way
when
there's
you do
no
that.
blood. Yeah.
Yeah, because Alex said, "Oh, smart." I thought she used a different weapon to kill it, and it's called something else. So I had to re-listen multiple times. What is he saying? It sounded like blood, but why? But that's what she said. No blood.
Made sense to me.
I know. Sorry. But the way she said it's like slow. No blood. You know?
Yeah, and now it's
Like
making
no
sense. how
comma
you-
blood. Yeah.
Well, all of
Took me
her
a minute.
words and sentences are slow.
Well, she's learning to speak again.
Well, I know that. Makes sense to me. I don't.
No, I'm on your side. Here, Jay. I'm on your side.
All right, shut up.
I never even thought another way.
No more.
Maybe that's just because we know what happens when you break a neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, so if we think that is a bad A, here comes Demon stomping on one of the infected.
I was like, oh,
So awesome.
Yeah, I know, it's so
I'm
good.
curious if we can get a body count for Demon, because he's done that before, right?
Yeah.
yeah, he did.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Then we
He
find
knows.
out he's killed the most.
Dude, so the only person that has connection with Dot out of all these characters, it's gotta be Demon. The only horse that survived, and he's wandering around in the desert.
That's fair.
Just
in
like
terms
Dot.
of the same story.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They have the same
Well,
backstory.
he's not
more
wandering
free.
around.
No, he is.
Yeah,
Because
he
remember
doesn't go-
Gloria?
He stays at the Atlas, though.
No, he's wandering
He doesn't
around.
go back.
Yeah.
He doesn't go in the Atlas.
No, he
But
doesn't.
there's a stable out above ground.
Well, there's a
okay.
stable for the other horses, but not like because Gloria even said that no, he doesn't even come by.
He doesn't go into the. He didn't want to go into the Atlas. I thought is what she said.
Like he doesn't even listen to.
I'll have
her.
to double check, but yeah, I thought that like Gloria knew that Demon was still around.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
and
thought too.
The only way Gloria would know is if Demon came by.
Right.
But
Came
so
by,
I
said
think- I
hello.
think-
You know.
Yeah, just came to pick up my food and go.
came by, was at least around long enough to deny T,
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So I think Jay's right. I'd have to go double check it though, because it's been a minute on that episode at least.
Now, Demon Stomp one of the infected, and Alex had never heard of some of these infected like that, and wondered if anybody else knows about those kinds. Which perfectly transitioned to Will and Nick, while Will is reading to Mimic. Mimic kind of infected, and there's some similarities on the infected that they encountered and what Will is reading from Tanya's journal. Will was fascinated and amazed by Nick's grammar, while Nick was unfazed. It's like, I already know all these. I know how awesome my grammar is. I'm still amazed.
It's just to be close enough to get all that detail, and
she has from all over the place.
Yeah,
it's crazy because she had information on like the ones from Louisiana, and then back over all the way where Prim was, which is
the Scorpions in
New Mexico, right?
Well, he says Southwest. So Prim is Vegas.
Yeah, Prim is
Nevada.
Nevada.
And so I mean that's a wide range. Like the fact that she got that far is insane.
And then he reads out in the journal that there's still probably somewhere in Southwest that they don't know.
Right. Yeah. Which gives you the whole Ace's theory about Tanya that this could be
director.
No, not the director. But getting supplied by the Republic, so she might be in the Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we still in the opinion that she's alive somewhere?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So.
Okay.
I'm very strong in that thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just been too much weirdness, like, especially because like my biggest thing for her being alive isn't the amount of info that they've gotten, isn't how recent some of the infected are that are listed. It's the fact that the journal came now.
Yeah.
And the journal went through Hope, but why would Hope not give it directly? And it's just like there becomes weird positions at that point. So it's almost like the journal now is the reason why I think that Tanya's alive.
Yeah.
And we still have the only two people, in my opinion, that could confirm that Tanya's alive are both dead.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single other person that could confirm it.
Yeah.
Maybe CJ, but I think that CJ is far enough away from Tanya to where only Michael was the one that could be arguably close as Hope.
And I agree that it's CJ doesn't know, because remember, we still have the question, like what you said, the journal and that whole process of the journal. Because the last encounter that we had with Hope, she was about to tell Pegs why the journal, and then Judd happened, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so Pegs told CJ why she was there and what's going on, but CJ never said anything to Pegs.
Right.
And there will be no reason for CJ to hide that from Pegs.
Yeah.
If she knows anything.
I would be curious if Tanya is alive, if she has any connection to Oliver. Just being well known and powerful.
It would be super interesting, especially because they would have the perfect excuse
to communicate.
Well, to have met, because I mean, we know they met, like without.
Oh yeah.
Met.
Yeah.
So it's like there
from Colony.
Excuse exactly. So there is excuse for them to have met, and if he tried to reach out with his network, he could have kept touch.
Yeah.
My thought with Tanya, I mean, this is a wild stretch, is that Tanya was the new Skittles, or the comparing to World War Z, where you find immunity by putting a sick virus in your body, and then all them zombies.
It's more of a I Am Legend than World War Z.
No. With what you're saying, it's definitely World War Z.
Yeah, it's World War Z.
Well, because I was thinking more of Will Smith capturing those infected and then putting them in the lab and testing them to change them back to human beings.
My big thing that I'm going to say no to that is Ink. Ink is my argument against that. Ink got wrecked when he had cancer.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because that's why Ink got the tattoos, is because he was so afraid of dying, blah, 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 blah. And it's because he had cancer. And they think, and he got lucky with the tattoo that one of them basically saved him from getting devoured, so he turned instead.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I only just assume that with all the details that she has on her research about all the infected, that she's able to walk among them somehow.
Well, she just avoids them.
Well,
It's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But her observation is crazy.
Yeah. What is the likeliness of Tanya? Like what I said, like more of a I Am Legend kind of situation where she's testing her blood to turn all these infected back to human. Or
I think
not
she
just,
would have tried it, and I think by this point she would have given up.
or more of a like transferring it to normal human being. You know what I mean? Like while they're turning, like capture them while they're turning, and then put her blood in there and see if it will fight the infection.
The only two indication that they turn is just pale skin and faded eyes, right? Not necessarily rotting like a zombie, correct?
They growl.
Well, they growl, yes, but I can see why you're thinking of I Am Legend.
Yeah.
But I just thought, is that the only two indication? Because it's really like a virus, or I don't know if it's a virus.
Don't you think that would be more like a general thing? Besides the eyes.
I mean, because I'm comparing them to typical zombies where they rot, like their skins rot. It's like, what's the point of trying to save them? And then I'm trying to make sense of what your thought.
Their skin does have a change.
Yeah.
It's not rotting though.
Yeah, so
I believe that they even mentioned how the skin got like tougher.
The first gen,
like almost like a more like dry, kind of like leathery tougher.
Right. Though they're not. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like it's not that it's like indestructible or like actual armored skin. It's just
it's some of them are dry. Some of them are tough, and then some of them are soft. Because you remember when they were putting the staples, it keeps coming off.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Actually,
yeah, it keeps coming off.
The staples. Remind me again what happened there.
Story of Survival when they were
marking them,
trying to test.
Yeah, they were trying to attach something to them
to track them.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. This one keeps coming off, Datu said. All I can imagine is Datu screaming, freaking out.
And they used the sleeping gas on him.
Yeah.
And Lizzie got tagged.
Yeah.
And,
what is it?
Saul almost committed murder.
Right. Yeah. So some of them are tough depending on what kind of infection. Like the little ones,
well,
definitely
they've all
mutated
tough. and adapted.
Like Ink. Yep. Ink definitely tested that or did something to that for sure.
Yeah.
When it transitioned to that, Nick was unfazed. Will said he reads biology and chemistry in his free time, and Nick said, "Of course you do. Of course you did. Of course." Nick gave Will a simple but important gun lesson. I wrote in here, I love Casey's little IRL fun fact that he puts in there, and this is like in every shows. It puts like a practical IRL fun fact that he puts in there that we normies don't know about guns. Will said, how come you don't put 30? He said, no, I only put 29 for other things. He said that well than I did. Now I put it in here, how likely do you think Casey does that in real life?
Very likely.
Yeah, very likely. He's probably like
that's well too informed of knowing what to do with the gun.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, because we see that in the story of Survival when Michael's yelling at Angel, in the very first episode when they got stuck in the army base. When was the last time you cleaned this? So yeah, he's putting some IRL fun fact in there, here and there, for us normies.
I mean, I always on my handguns, I always had them pulled up
all the way up.
Yeah. I had 12 in my mag and 1 in the chamber.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
He carries 12.
Depends on the one you have.
Oh.
It depends. Mine was double stacked, so I had a full size.
So Will.
So it might have been 15. I don't remember. It's been like 5 years since I owned it. So I don't remember. But yeah.
Will was a little hesitant. Nick thought because he was struggling to handle the guns, and compared to Pegs and how Pegs doesn't like guns. However, Will said it was his withdrawal.
You all right there? Does that make you nervous?
No, I'm fine with this.
I mean, look, it's okay if you are. My mom, my adopted mom, Pegs, doesn't handle guns like at all.
No, it's not that. Just still feeling the withdrawals.
Oh, is it bad?
Yeah, very. Yeah, you have no idea.
Maybe I do.
Really? You?
A while back, I struggled with a few things. Took me a while to get clean.
Were you forced to use?
Me? No, I chose to.
Why?
That's hard to say. I mean, I don't know if it was ever really one thing. I was going through a lot. Help me forget.
Yeah. Well, what did you need to forget?
You know, Will, you ask a lot of questions.
Sorry, I'm just curious. Is that bad?
Not really. I just don't really like to talk about this kind of stuff.
Why?
Because it's hard to.
Well, for me, right, it was nice to hear that you may know what this feels like, because I don't know how much longer I could take it. Everything I've been feeling is catching up with me all at once. Stardust helped me keep it at a distance.
Numb. It was making you feel numb.
Yeah, exactly. And now, all these new experiences, the plane, those people, these environments, to absorb it all, it's so overwhelming, and I'm exhausted just by my thoughts. It helps to know that I'm not alone, is all I was trying to say.
Nick said he could relate somehow that he had struggled with it in the past.
Yeah.
With addiction. Will asked if he was forced to use. This is like such interesting conversation, and
I loved this.
And character Nick and Will definitely showed the emotion through their voices. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can tell when Will asked Nick, "Did you do that on purpose to use?" With the voice or the sound that Nick made, it's like, oh, this is awkward because I wasn't forced. I did it. Yeah, I did it to myself. I did all of this. He reluctantly said no, that he did it on purpose. Now, eventually, Nick opened up and why he used his life and his past. All I can imagine is this. Hear me out, okay? This is what I can imagine. I can imagine is Casey reading all of our comments about hating on Nick and how he's whiny and annoying and all those things. And he's probably patiently waiting for this moment. Nick shared his struggle and the pressure of people wanting him to be just like his father. And right there and then, all of the hate comments of him being whiny and annoying just faded away and became like, we totally understand. I get it.
No, he's still whiny and annoying.
No,
he just had a hard time in his past.
I know, but I get that though. But putting yourself in, like being an empath and putting yourself in that situation though, and the truth is though, he's self-aware. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he is self-aware on how spoiled he was.
Agreed. I'm like, when he was telling, backtracking a little bit, when he was telling Will how to handle a gun, it's like, man, Nick, you are very reliable and knowledgeable when you are calm and collected, not when you're going wonk. Yeah, freaking out. I'm like, where were you this calm, Nick, when everything was going down? I was like, okay.
So, talking about that, I've seen so many comments. Even this is not even We're Alive burst. Like, we're not living in We're Alive. We're just listening to this story, and I see comments saying, "Why can't Nick be like his dad Saul?" And I was like, "He is acting like Saul. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you not know Saul?"
I will actually argue that he's got the similarities, but man, he does not act like him.
No, I'm talking about the just going ahead without thinking about other people. You know what I mean?
No, I'm aware.
Impulsive.
Yeah. All that impulsiveness.
They do it in two very different ways.
Yes.
Like, even though like especially because of where they're trained in this specific time.
Right.
Like, Saul handled the time period way better than Nick does being born into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but all the negative aspects of Saul, Nick has it. You know what I mean?
He really did grab pretty much the negative,
right?
Like, negative from him.
Absolutely. So when people are saying that, can Nick act like Saul and collected and things like that, like he. Oh, are you kidding me right now? How many times he like went to save Lizzie without even thinking about anything? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So where was I? Eventually, Nick opened up.
Yeah.
And Nick shared his struggle and his pressure. And talking about just like his father Saul, Nick continued, Michael waited so long for him to tell Nick about everything. And when he did, it all came at once. Mm-hmm. Eventually, he got tired of them protecting him. Will compared what he witnessed in Prim to what Nick experienced in Westport. Because he was saying, who would I tell about all these information? And I've seen worse in Prim. And Nick said, well, I don't know if I would believe that. Looking back, that it was really bad for him. What he experienced was really, really bad. Nick continued that he said when he was younger, he was offered everything and anyone.
Okay, I kind of get his point of view, but when Will, going back to the comparison, when Will said it can't be as bad as what I saw in Prim, and Nick said it could be. I was like, in my head, it's like, Bro, really? Yeah. You're comparing your life experiences? I get it. You went through some spoiled growth issue. Yeah. But what Will saw was more life, death situation. Yeah. I'm like, what is there to compare? What is worse than what the Will saw? Come on.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. Their only common denominator is their parents are dead.
That's fair. True. That's fair.
Valid point. Yeah. Very valid. So you're telling me, Nick, is this, okay? You're telling me that you having sex with all these people is as worse
exactly
slavery the infected
in the arena. That's what I was tripping about.
Yeah. Being forced to forced labor and all that. Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
It's he still went through some trauma, I would say.
Yeah.
It's different, obviously.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, and I don't know if that was him saying that he can relate to him on that level, but he was addicted to drugs,
right?
Which is where he was able to relate to him, you know.
Yeah.
And
Did you go ahead, Ace?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying I agree with that. Like, I think that's where he was trying to bond with them, not like the. I got annoyed when he tried doing the "my childhood was worse than your childhood" thing, but
yeah.
But when it was strictly just like the, I can relate to you. Like, I did drugs too, and I know that it's really hard, especially like to get off of them at the end. Blah 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 blah. Like, he might not know it to the extreme, but it's just that I'm here for you. I can relate. Like, you're not alone kind of mentality, and I'm for that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he took it a step further, and I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, it's like, remember the whole Alex and Dot is like, oh, I'm used to this, sleeping on the ground. Like, Dot, come on.
I'll watch. I'll take the watch.
I'm used to this. It's okay.
Idiot.
For real, man.
You know nothing.
Right. With this, he admittedly says that he became spoiled. So self-awareness. Because of the rumor that his dad is immune, people are offering their daughters to him, the children of the sun. And then this goes back to episode 1 when the guy was offering his daughter to him. Yeah. Speaking of episode 1,
I still want to know more about that.
The offering daughter or the dad offering his daughter?
The dad.
Oh, gotcha. Do you think what do you want to know about it?
Like, it seemed more than just like a guy trying to marry off his daughter.
Yeah.
I thought it was
because of how almost desperate he seemed.
Right.
Well, he wanted his lifeline to go on.
Yeah.
And it could be that, but it's like I want to know if there's more to it because they kind of like with how underground cults and stuff are in this time period that we're kind of seeing pieces of. I just want to know more about that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I like the world building and the lore.
Okay, I see what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah. So he might be like connected to. I mean, it's will not be the first time because Jackal was in Westport. You know what I mean? Jackal was the one who's talking to Nick. It's like, hey, you want to see some sports?
That's right.
And things like
That's
that.
right.
So it might be like an
I
insider.
thought that was Seal.
Seal. So one of the animals.
Yeah, I remember it was Seal.
Yeah. Speaking of episode 1, when I re-listened to episode 1, Stardust was introduced in episode 1 because that was the payment for Judd.
Oh.
His payment was Stardust.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you think there's some connection to the board?
No. I think it's just drugs.
Yeah, but I thought Stardust was created in Prim.
That didn't say that.
Yeah, he did say that. They what's his name? Mera said that they have everything. They have every kind of drugs.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that was the payment. It was Stardust. Nick, sorry. Was I? Will drop a freaking question to Nick.
Yeah, the question.
This is like the question, and I say it right here. What the heck, Will? Our minds are already preoccupied with important questions. Why the heck would you add that to our world life brains?
Adding to the lore.
Question. So you have kids? What?
That got me thinking so much.
That's real. And it even got Nick thinking. He's like, wait.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he said that it started when he was around 16.
Yeah.
Didn't we figure out was he around 18 or was he around 21? What did we figure out?
This time?
Right now.
Shoot.
Did we figure that out?
I think it's
or they
late tens. So it's like early 20s. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So he could potentially have like kids all the way up to like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And he said there was a lot.
Yeah. And he's just now thinking,
but he doesn't know if he has any kids.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's.
I'm like, I was like, Casey, bro, we're already thinking about all these things, and you haven't even answered a bunch of things. Now you're gonna add this?
Yeah. Never even thought of like having a potential kid out there, and
yeah,
and he's pulling the milk move.
I'm pretty sure we've actually had this exact conversation in one of our earlier episodes.
Did we?
Of season 1. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about it.
Oh, really? I don't remember.
Like, I think it was more of a joke, but this kind of makes it like almost real. Like, wait,
yeah. So speaking of which, right? What if? Oh my gosh! I mean, there's not really a potential of this, but I'm just gonna say it. When Will asked this about him being kids, right, or having kids, what if Lisa is alive but turned to an infected and she's pregnant with Nick's kid?
Oh,
okay. Because remember they had massive sex before the fight.
Oh yeah.
And this is why and might be the reason why Grant is still getting dragged into the story to connect Grant with Lisa again, get him reconnected.
No,
I know.
That's a stretch. But that's wild.
But it's like you have the Grant getting dragged in the story, and then you got Will asking if you have kids.
So what? This is a repeat of the
my
little
argument
ones?
for Grant is Kelly.
Kelly.
Tommy died immediately. Almost Tommy died
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah,
after a little bit.
Yeah.
She was more involved.
It's true. It's true. That is true. That is true. But and then the other rule of we didn't see any body. we just know she's dead because she screamed. And Vera said, you know, she's dead.
Yeah.
And they all saw that she's dead because they were watching.
That was a hard hit.
So Nick pondered that he probably abandoned some stranger's kids out there and made him feel sucky.
Just like he did. Or his dad did.
Just like his dad did,
well,
yeah.
Pretty much.
His dad didn't abandon him, but, you know.
Well, by technicality, he kind of did.
I mean, he didn't abandon him. He was killed.
He chose the death. He could have... He didn't have to do that. He volunteered to do it.
He didn't have to die?
Yeah, he like, I'm going to do it. That's what he said. I'm going to do this. He didn't have to.
All right.
Now, I'm not belittling the heroic act that he did, okay? I'm not saying that. But on paper, he kind of did. That's an awful thing to say. I feel bad saying that.
You should. You absolutely should.
Jay, these people don't exist. They're not real.
Says who?
Don't tell me that.
Don't say that to Ace.
It kind of reminded me of that scene in Friends.
Don't listen to him, Ace. Don't listen to him.
It kind of reminded me of that scene in Friends where that one girl that
it's a Joey Tribbiani's girl. Yeah.
Oh, where she believes that he's actually Dr. Drake from Ramore.
Yeah. And then when he admitted to her, it's like, oh, so you're his twin brother? Like, what the heck, dude?
Hans Ramore.
So great.
Yeah.
Aren't you just in surgery?
You know. And then we get to the this is one of the sweetest wholesome moment of the whole story. Will said, Nick, how we had to grow up doesn't have to change who we grow up to be. How I started can't be the end of me, only my beginning. And I was like, okay, Will. Statement. All right, Will.
Your favorite line for Grant? This was my favorite line. I was like, Will, nice. Stepping up.
Okay, Will.
Yeah. That was good.
Right.
I think Will's going to die.
Oh my gosh! Don't jump yet. Hold on.
Do that.
I had
Don't
it right
do that.
You're clipping.
Sorry, I know. I realized.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I actually agree with that. I was gonna bring that up anyway.
Don't do that.
They set that up way too much when Nick was like, yeah. So when we get back to Westport, you'll be able to help out and do so much.
That's crazy.
And it's like, yeah, he's gonna die.
Don't do
I'll
that.
say, what did Datu tell Samantha? What did he tell Samantha?
Don't do that. Don't do that to Will, man.
I think he's going to die because I think that is going to be the catalyst for character growth for Nick.
So I have that in here.
I thought Lisa's death was going to be a catalyst, but it was a down spiral.
So
I think his catalyst is going to be that.
Sorry, this is my fault because I move a lot. Nick mentioned that the only person who knew any better for him and cared is gone now. Out of all Nick's backstory, Nick asked Will about his family. Will said, "Oh, they dead."
I love how he responded to that question.
They died in the arena.
With a very heartfelt story about his past, and then here comes Will with a nonchalant answer. It's like, "Oh, yeah, they died in the arena."
Right. He's so matter of fact about the entire thing.
I know,
yeah. Well, I mean, when you think about it, they died when he was young.
Yeah, exactly.
He's had time to process and move forward, but that also explains his hatred for what's going on in Prim.
Yeah.
Beyond just self-aware consciousness.
Right.
That's what killed his parents.
Right.
Yep.
We still didn't get the answer. I don't even know if we're gonna get it. We still didn't get the answer of how he knew Dot. Like, we had assumptions that Dot was a prisoner too and a slave, which highly likely now based on what
they did
Will
know
said.
they did know that they stated that she was in the work camps.
Yeah, they met at the camp.
Yeah, they met in the camp.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It was when
earlier episode.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, that was stated
quite a while ago. I don't remember that.
It was like a while ago.
Yeah. Anyway, we find out that he lived like that as a prisoner till he was 10. Then some higher workers that are engineers gave him books and drawings because he wouldn't stop asking questions. So he learned and went up to where he was at Prim.
Yeah.
And he said, this is actually a good line. Power, even if given by bad people, is still better than being helpless.
Yep.
That was a powerful line. I was like, that's like
My man is a reader.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like, sheesh, dude.
Yeah, he's dropping all this knowledge, which by technicality, it's Casey dropping all this knowledge to us.
Well, and then on top of that, then he laid down the other point of just like, and that also is what allowed me to help you guys.
Yeah, exactly. And even Nick is like, actually, I didn't think about that. Like, You're right.
Yeah, dude. Like, he's just hitting them with fact after fact, bar after bar.
Right.
And then when Nick says thank you, he responds with such humility. It's like, no, I should say, like, saying something. I should thank you because you are saving me, but you don't even know it.
So, so he talked about his parents, and he's talked about how his parents before the pandemic.
Before the fall. In the old world.
Before all this happened, that they're very knowledgeable. They know a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With that said, Nick promised that when he gets back to Westport, I'm gonna repeat what Jay said earlier. He would be a great use there, that he could make good changes in this world. And I said, Will is gonna die, because when he died, all of that knowledge gone. Yep. It's like,
just like Tommy.
Tommy didn't have that great knowledge.
Screw you.
No, Tommy would have been a better Datu.
Yeah, his potential though. That's the thing.
Yeah. I had zero doubt in my mind. He would have been a better Datu.
Yeah,
when absolutely. It comes to like what they could build and stuff like that. And I mean, by the same point in the story, he would have been better.
I mean, Pegs was almost better
already
than
ahead of Datu.
Don't say that. How dare you? I will let Tommy. I'm fine with that. But Pegs to Datu?
Don't do that.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
That's bad.
Creating wars.
Bad.
I
will call Dot to snap your neck. I'm not.
Not gonna lie, I'd be afraid of that.
Dude.
You know when that happened, I was like, her cute voice does not match her strength. Like when she, I know this is a little
terrifying
kid, but pulling it and then just
yeah.
Dang that.
So okay, so whoever casted all these actors, right? All these voice actors, they do a great job casting the people. That's how they look like. Like their voice look the same when you see them, right? Yeah. So the actor Dot, if you look at the pictures that Casey posted,
it did.
Just like Dot. Like that's how I imagine Dot.
But like, her snapping a kid's neck or the infected neck, like,
I don't remember. Oh gosh, dude. Absolutely.
She's the one with the short hair.
Well, yeah. That doesn't tell me. I mean, you can log into it and I'll see. I'm curious. I don't remember.
Now, Will asked if Nakoma and Vera would get there too, because getting to Westport, he's getting excited. Absolutely, I'm gonna be there. I just love that. Even though he still loves doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? Whether he's a slave or whether in Prim or not, he loves what he's doing. He loves learning. He loves inventing. He loves fixing things. He just loves being an engineer. Yeah. So when Nick told him that, hey, you could be in Westport and you could be a great use there. We're gonna do this and that. He didn't I actually don't want to do that anymore. You know what I mean? No, he got excited. He loves doing it.
That's true.
Will hopes that she doesn't get caught.
He jinxed it.
So hilarious.
Jinxed it.
Yeah. Nick assured him that she should be fine and that if she plays everything right, she will not get caught.
So the second time I listened to that, and that's why I obviously knew what was going to happen, but right after that, I think I actually said it out loud. I was like, and she played it wrong.
Let go of me! If you want... I caught one of our trespassers held up in a townhouse nearby. Where did the other two go?
They're long gone. On their way to the rail line.
You should have gone with them. We may have others still on the perimeter. Do a full sweep. Why did you come back? We let you go.
I didn't know if I could believe you. What you told Vera, it didn't make sense.
Oliver gave you a chance. He told you the truth and warned you about what would happen if you came back.
Fine. I'll leave then. I'll leave this time.
It's too late.
What does that mean?
Your protection ran out, which means you're trespassing.
So?
So? You haven't put it together yet? This is the family. We're very strict. We kill trespassers.
Yeah. I was just a little.
Exactly.
I was just a little, because I'm glad that this is how it played out. Just a little disappointed that it was that quick. Like we didn't even get a little bit of a Nakoma, creeping in, and then all I can imagine is while she's creeping in, fingers came up behind her. It's like, what are you doing here? And then we have a Nakoma fingers fight. Like we didn't have that.
No,
so we did not get that.
Here's the question: do you think she's actually gonna get killed?
No.
Yeah.
Her story build is it's just too much, just a drop.
Yeah. So what just popped in my head is that Oliver, he's not gonna like bring her into the family or anything, but they're gonna recognize that she can be useful and send her out to do something.
I don't know, because the last two from Lockdown, well, one of them from Lockdown was very useful. Well, don't need them anymore.
Ace, go ahead and say what you're gonna say, because I have a thought.
So I don't know if this is gonna be what happens, if it's even a possibility of what could happen or whatever. But it's funny that you just mentioned the Lockdown people, because I think what's gonna happen is this might be how they introduce the Lockdown characters.
You think so?
Is through this capture, possibly. I think it's a stretch, but I think it's possible and would be cool.
That would be
a cool way to bring them back.
That would be cool.
So here's my thought. I think I'm leaning more of what Jay said, that she's not going to be part of the family, but I think they'll find a use for her. And this is because they're going to interview her. They're going to ask her, where have you been? What have you been doing? It's like, I'm in Prim. I used to work with this girl named Boar. And then find out that Boar's part of the family, and find out that what she's doing in Prim was illegal and bad for the family because she's doing this whole slavery thing, and make a plan to take down Boar.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And she knows in and outs of what's going on in Prim. So she's going to be useful for the family.
I thought Will would be useful since he knows the ins and out of...
Yeah, but he's not with Oliver. Nakoma is with
he's
Oliver.
Not there, yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So I
and
think
whether or not what's her name? Who's there?
Nakoma?
Not Nakoma.
Vera.
Whether or not Vera like begs for her life or anything like that, who knows? But
yeah,
I feel like she's gonna have something to do with Oliver keeping her alive. Kind of like a.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like for Nakoma. Yeah.
The princess of the area.
Yeah.
She wants her to live.
Right.
But.
Yeah, but I think that's what's gonna happen, because there's gonna be a whole conversation. Like what are you doing with Vera, or maybe like Oliver talk to to Vera, who's this girl, why is she with you, and things like, oh, she captured us to bring us to Prim. Do you think Nakoma knows Boar's real name, Michelle?
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. That's the reason for the code names, because to only know them by that nickname.
Well, I'd say when she went up there, I think she told her.
No, that was Mara.
Mara.
Mara's the only one who said
you're
her
right.
name.
Because
she was the only one up
you're right.
there.
Sorry, I was thinking the wrong thing. So yeah.
I think the only one that might have off-heard him was it Bert, because they both went up.
Right. Or unless, how likely do you think that the family already knows what's happening in Prim?
I think
they probably already know who Boar is.
Well, no,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
But they may not know that it's family.
Well, yeah, no, they would be. I think they.
Oh, they would be, because Mara knows.
Yeah, no, Mara would. She only guessed it had to be someone from the family to be operating that.
Right.
And that she only knew that once she got there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So unless she's contacted the family since the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Then
like if there are any connections there.
But there was no contact because
well, we don't know.
No,
we haven't heard from them since this new season started.
Yeah, since last season.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So the families are already probably planning to take down Prim, so they need someone who knows in and out of Prim to do that. So they will use Nakoma.
That's possible.
Yeah. Hopefully.
You know what I mean?
All I can say is I hope Nakoma doesn't die.
I hope so too. I hope she's
I don't think she's gonna die, though.
Which
But if we have to sacrifice someone, let's sacrifice anyone but Dot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The hierarchy is actually like, I don't care anybody else. You can kill Nick. I'm just kidding.
Quite frankly, I'm okay with that. Take him out. Just keep Dot in. Keep Dot alive.
He has so much plot armor for him. He has so much plot armor for him to die, though. He has so much immunity. And main character, like, there's no way, bro.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, though. It'd be fine if that happened. And just keep Dot in there. That's awesome.
I mean, you can argue, like, Saul had that, too. But, it's, like, you had Saul and Tanya still alive. And now Nick is alive. So, like, right now, Nick is the only one that we know of that's still alive. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the immunity. I mean, Boar has potentially, probably, it's not confirmed yet, the blood of Nick to send it somewhere to get studied, but other than that, like, we don't really know. You know what I mean?
Walrus is on his way to the Republic, right?
Yeah. I have one question in here, and it's still, and it helped me understand, and it'll be perfect if we discuss this. Nekoma has a bad feeling and questioning their intentions to Vera. Do you think this is just misjudgment, or there's a validity in this?
I think there is validity. I think her being curious is valid only because they left out the one information that they didn't tell them, that there's potentially a war that might happen. Yeah. But anything beyond that,
I'm just thinking about, like,
I think there's a possibility for ulterior motive.
That's the families. It's very likely.
Just because it almost seems too smooth. You know, the family, and just too righteous.
Like, too good to be true kind of situation?
And, you know, in what they said, it definitely seems like they're still holding a lot back. And then just, Nekoma is trained and experienced in a lot of things, and the fact that she's like, there's something not right here, I feel like that's, you know, kind of laying the groundwork for a bigger, you know, a blinds being lifted kind of thing, or door being, what was curtain being drawn on some deeper information.
The bed sheet, kind of the tablecloth,
the rug, some piece of fabric being removed. And so, I think that's definitely possible and probable, just because of the way that Nekoma said that and went back, and then she's getting caught and. Yeah,
I think she's just too obsessed with Vera, though.
What do you think,
because
Ace?
she's obsessed with fingers now.
Of course she will be. What do you think, Ace? You think there's a validity in this?
I don't know. I've got such mixed feelings on it because I feel like it's a perspective thing.
Yeah.
Like, looking at all of the main characters' perspectives. Definitely validity in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a big, like, it's not gonna be a good thing. The Last of Us, like, Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Not both people are the bad guys in this situation, and both people are the good guys in the situation because it's all about what side you're on.
Gotcha. And who you're playing.
I really feel like it's gonna end up being similar to something like that. Like, you're not right, but I'm not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, we can we all agree that Nekoma's obsession with Vera is kind of sus?
Very.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's sexually or not, or romantically, I shouldn't have said sexually. Like, romantically or not, there's something, like, sus in here. Like, why are you so concerned about her? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one person who knew her more than any of them there, you know, validated her that she's fine.
Yeah.
And she still wasn't.
Right. So there's some sus obsession in there, whether there's an ulterior motive between the two of them. You know what I mean? Between both Oliver, the family, or Nekoma herself. Like, she wants her for other reason. Now, I know we talked about this before. Do we still question if she's part of a family somehow? Like, whether Dawson or any other family?
Nekoma?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
No?
I don't think she's family. Though I think we do have Dawson's elsewhere. Potentially Hogs.
That's who I'm still thinking.
Yeah.
But I don't think she is, but I would love to see Nakoma as being a lost descendant of the family. Not just
gotcha.
zero expectation to it.
Though,
really don't think that's how it would go. But it would be cool that with her getting taken like this, they would find that out here.
That she was a Dawson. That would actually be really cool.
Not even a Dawson, like just a member of the family.
Yeah.
I think it would just be cool.
Well, because when she got to the estate, she didn't recognize it. She was surprised. So, you said that she's being lost,
and that's what I mean. She would just be lost.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be someone that they actually knew.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Because what would be cool, and then if she knew it, kind of thing, and that's why she was suspect. And if she was I'm saying Dawson just because it fits the idea in my head. If she was a Dawson and she knew about the family, knew about what was going on, and she's in there and she's like, you can't kill me, or something like that. Like, I am a part of the family. I'm a Dawson.
Gotcha.
And so that would kind of that would be why she has the distrust in them.
Yeah.
And what's going on with
well, her being
Vera.
part of the Dawson won't be like enough. It won't be sufficient reason not to kill her. That'll probably be another reason for them to kill her.
Potentially. It depends on what she knows, but it still could be, a reveal. That would be really interesting.
Yeah.
So
but I think Ace and I agree it will be. I don't want her to be part of the family. You know what I mean? Same reason why I don't want the killer, Michael's killer, be someone that we already know. I want that person to be someone that we completely knew.
I think it's Hogs. That's my belief.
I definitely want that.
The Hogs.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I want it to be Hogs, and I want him to be a Dawson. Like, I want those two things to be true.
Right.
So bad.
Yeah, the connections though, and the way everything worked out is very convenient for him and very telling that this could be Hogs who killed him. Yeah. All right, let's read some Casey's comments real quick, and then we can be done. He said in here that the vehicles can't take the same path as the people on foot or Dot and Alex on the horse. They talk about it in the previous episode, where the tanks are forced to take one path. So we got that one. Where the others are more free to take direct route. It's why the hills gave them the advantage before they reached the valley. This is him commenting about it doesn't make any sense how they started shooting and things like that. So, Casey said that they were in the middle of the mission, and at that point thinking that they would be back in a few hours, and the fuse came after they heard it was a rescue op. This is talking about when Wakka was right. So
very rare.
Yeah, he knew or she knew about the rescue op first, and then she got the message, not other way around. So he answered that. Yep. Nick passed his QI test for the infection, so as far as everyone knows, it was just a close call. That does happen a lot.
Oh.
So he passed the QI test. It's nothing like it's nothing like questioning them or being reliant or reluctant about he passed. We're just gonna accept it right away. Nope, it just happens a lot. I love this case. He said that you can't change who lives or dies. It's already set way in advance.
Sorry, we can be hopeful. That was something from my side.
Yeah. Full pun intended. We can be hopeful.
Unless your name's Hope.
That's what I'm saying. Full pun intended.
Well, I know. I put it together. I was just helping the people out there who didn't understand dadisms.
So he said, yes, more people from Prim is reinforcing their people further from them, but starting to move closer. No more survivors showing up. That's good. No more survivors showing up. The Matagon is very much a Westport thing and not seen by many outside those circles.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're talking about the Mata pistol, and surprised the family didn't know about it. It can take a long time if ever. Mentally is a big thing aside from physical. I think this was a response to I forgot what it was, but there was I don't know. But and then he said, Wakka's right. She did confess to him about her romantic love. This love is a bit different, but it's becoming more comfortable. And then I said, what did I say? Nice. Now the question is, did he know that then, and does he know that now? and then he responded, or have they settled into something else, understanding each other's feelings now?
I love his response.
I know.
Like,
you didn't answer the question
with
with
the question.
I know. You didn't answer the question. You just gave a different option.
It's true. True.
Nice.
To the theory that Vincent would have recognized the boar, he said no. Vincent would not recognize her. He never met her, but Mira would know. Mira is older family.
Which that makes sense because it was like someone like Vincent wasn't in as a family member like pre-infection, and so a lot of the people that may have left shortly after the infection probably don't have a lot of ties. Casey
corrected all of us. He said it's Rhonda. Mainly me, because I'm the one who kept pushing the other person, Anita, but it was Rhonda. And then lastly, he said, I did not say there aren't any Dawsons left, but they are no longer part of the family. I want to special mention Dark Elite 3000. He said that, is the name David Dawson a play off of the name David Duke, or am I reading too much into slavery thing? That's actually pretty cool.
Ooh,
I know.
That'd be actually really interesting.
I know.
Nice.
Yeah. Because it's about DD, you know what I mean? The initials being DD.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That'd be a really good tag if that is right.
Yeah.
But no, I'm happy that Casey confirmed. Because I definitely was in the belief that the Dawsons aren't gone.
Yeah.
Because the closest thing to confirmation we've got, which is such a big storytelling thing in general, is the side that fought the Dawsons said we eradicated them down to the stem.
To the
roots.
Yeah, roots and stem.
Yeah.
I was like, to the roots and stem.
Yep,
so it's like that, like that's just a storytelling thing. That's almost more proof that they were alive.
Right.
So I would have been really sad if Casey would have come back and said the other way around, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I feel like that was such a build up just to have it taken away before it began.
Yeah, that's such a good story catching moment that you're like, nah, they're gone. What? No, keep them there. But yeah, I mean, it's the. Do you think the family thinks that the Dawson is gone?
I think they
so.
do.
Yeah.
I don't think they realize they're out there.
That they're gone.
Yeah.
I don't think that Oliver would have leaned into it the way that he did if he had even doubts on it.
Right. Yeah, and they would definitely, dude, coming back of the Dawson family and then the family and Oliver finding out, it'll be a huge shock.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? And then whether it's Hugs or not, finding out who the real Dawson, the people that we already met and know, bro. It's not just the family will be shocked. It's not just Oliver. We're all gonna be like, "What? You're Dawson?" You know what I mean?
That's why. Just how we were surprised about Finger's name.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yes, that's right. Durai.
Yeah. That was great. That was a crazy little time.
Dude, I still have goosebumps.
I wonder how that reveal is gonna come to her when they knew.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't be a huge...
Well, and here's the thing.
Yeah,
it won't be bad even when it does get revealed, because one of two things is going to happen. She's going to find out, like, if a reveal happens, they're going to find out that Pegs knew who Durai was, and then also find out how Durai was killed.
Yeah.
And then also kind of learn that the blood debt would be paid because the person who killed Durai is dead.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of like that loop in that cycle.
Right. The big problematic...
It would be really cool to see that conversation happen, though.
Yeah, the problematic is Bert, and we talked about that multiple times, but the problematic issue will be Bert killing, Scratch. That will be the problematic.
Like that's going to get forgiven almost because of the Durai killing.
Oh yeah, you're right. He basically fulfilled the vendetta for him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, unless he has to be.
Yeah, it was scratched that often, right?
It might have to be, but because of the situation,
the knife,
and because of like who everybody is, I wonder if Oliver would be like, no, it's fulfilled.
Right. Yeah. And he's probably, and you said this before, Durai is probably like, no, I think Finger said it. He's one of the bad side of the family.
No,
it was Oliver?
No, it was Ruth. Well, Ruth is the one when she was telling the story to Pegs. There are bad people in the family. The Scratch and Latch were a part of that bad side of the family. I don't know if she mentioned Durai, but
we also don't know exactly Durai's immediate attachment to those two, minus same place, same time.
Yeah.
We only know that he's just a Blackburn or part of the Blackburn.
Blackburn. I mean, Durai is black. We can tell by the voice. He is Blackborn and born black.
And Fingers is proof of that.
Yeah.
She sounded black to me.
Right. She did. Would that be like that would be her dad, right?
Yeah, her dad.
Yeah.
Because the only...
she was named after him.
Yeah. Well, because they're like, what, generation to generation. So, yeah, it's definitely... in the timeline...
Durai the third, right?
Yeah. So, in the timeline, that's gotta be her dad, for sure.
Yeah, he went for the milk.
Yeah,
came back.
Yeah.
Like... She's too old.
Nicely done.
She's too old for that to have been like grandparent.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Like, cause he didn't sound like he was 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
He just had a deep voice. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
Could have been, but
yeah, but we're gonna continue with this because it's the Valley of the Shadow of Death. So we're gonna continue in this storyline with the two because it's not just Gloria, Grant, Dot, and Alex in the Shadow of Death. It's also Nick and Will. You know what I mean? Even reaching Republic, you could still consider that as in the Valley of Shadow of Death. You know what I mean?
Not wait, man.
All right,
I'm excited.
It's gonna happen, dude. Us finding out who running Republic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the new story I want to hear,
bro. Whether
even if it's a new character,
I know.
I'm so excited.
Yes. And then finding out more information if they're really a good guy, if they're getting framed. I don't know, bro. I just cannot wait. It cannot wait to know what's happening there. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
You guys have any additional thing? Anything?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Yeah?
No, this is good.
Not
it was
today.
a good episode to introduce to the next.
Yeah, that was. Oh yeah. I think I started questioning if that was Finger, but in the end credits, she said it was Finger, so she was there. She voiced in and she played the character. But I'm excited. We might see some previous characters like the Scout's Honor when we reach Republic.
Hoping for it.
Yeah, we're excited, and it's gonna be an awesome time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Late.
Bye.
Bye, son.